What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
10HT. Chapter 186. 100,000 times reward, 1 million wind style. Shuriken Shadow Clone. He opened his mouth and blew out the chakra transformed by the wind attribute towards the shuriken. The power of the wind blade is attached to the shuriken. A huge wind-style shuriken was formed. Ye Huo learns Senju Hashirama's movements. Wind-style shuriken shadow clone technique. The next moment, one Fudo shuriken suddenly turned into thousands. Ding. Congratulations to host for developing wind-style shuriken shadow clone technique. 100,000 times reward is triggered. 1. A lot of wind-style shuriken shadow clone technique.
2. Superpower wind-style shuriken shadow clone technique. Ye Huo thought briefly. He made a selection directly. I choose many wind-style shuriken shadow clone technique.
Face many powerful ninjas from the Senju clan. Only such a large-scale attack can suppress. If the time comes, if the opponent uses the ballista to attack again. He just performed a ninjutsu. Of course, the best way is to make Hashirama lose its combat power so that the opponent has no ballista to use. Ye Huo has just made his choice. The number of dozens of wind-style shurikens in midair suddenly increased by 100,000 times. In an instant, wind-style shurikens were everywhere.
The wind blade cut the air and made a buzzing sound.
The buzzing sound joined together, instantly breaking Hashirama's shuriken shadow clone technique, and swarming towards Senju Hashirama and the ninjas of the Senju clan like a swarm. What is that? That's a shuriken made of wind attribute chakra. Why are there so many? This is too scary. Senju Hashirama's eyes sparkled with excitement. At that moment, his hands formed handprints again.
At the same time, he bit the thumbs of both hands.
At that moment, he slammed his hands towards the ground.
Powerful chakra instantly poured into the ground.
Summoning technique five-fold Rashomon. Senju Hashirama let out a loud roar. Boom boom boom. A huge roar sounded. Suddenly, 5 iron gates with ghost faces appeared on the ground. The copper ring on the iron door shook, making the sound of a work bell.
The next moment, millions of wind-style shurikens bombarded the triple Rashomon gate.
The first and second Rashomon gates were destroyed instantly. The third level did not last long, and cracks appeared on the surface, and then suddenly shattered. Most of the remaining wind-style shurikens destroyed the fourth Rashomon gate. In the end, the remaining hundreds of thousands of wind-style shurikens cracked the fifth Rashomon and blasted towards Senju Hashirama. Senju Hashirama looked extremely solemn, clasped his hands together and clasped his fingers tightly. The wood-style tree world is born. The powerful chakra turns into a massive amount of nutrients. It stimulated the ground to grow into huge trees. These big trees extended countless branches and rushed towards the remaining wind-style shurikens. Finally, the wind-style shurikens were knocked away one after another by this powerful wood-style. Ah! Senju Hashirama yelled. The chakra in the body surged out desperately.
Countless trees surrounded Ye Huo from all directions.
As long as Ye Huo is caught by these big trees, his chakra will be suppressed immediately. Let Hashirama slaughter you. Ye Huo knows the power of wood-style. How dare you let wood-style get close? At that moment, Ye Huo separated into 3 powerful shadow clone. Powerful chakra and wind energy surged out of the bodies of Ye Huo and the clone.
The energy came together. The next moment, the main body spins forward, and the clone spins left.
8 trigrams wind-style shuriken Revolving Heaven. The blue-white Revolving Heaven with a diameter of 20 meters was formed instantly. Ask for flowers. Guard Ye Huo firmly within it. Wood styles are pouring in from all directions. They were all chopped into sawdust by Revolving Heaven.
Young master, hold on, the Revolving Heaven of the Hyuga clan won't last long. Young commander, hold on, it's the Hyuga kid who loses. Haha, Commander Hashirama's chakra is extremely huge. That brat will definitely lose.
At this time, even Senju Butsuma's lips showed a smile. The Revolving Heaven of the Hyuga clan is indeed powerful. But it didn't last long. Just keep attacking. Wait until the flaw is revealed. It will be broken in an instant. When Ye Huo used Revolving Heaven, he also lost. However, 1 second passed, 2 seconds passed, a full 5 seconds passed, and the Revolving Heaven was still spinning.
How did they know that Ye Huo's Revolving Heaven can spin 100,000 times?
Just press 0.1 second to rotate once. 100,000 laps would take 10,000 seconds, 166.6 minutes. And in just 1 second, Ye Huo can regain his posture and prepare for Revolving Heaven.
It can be said that as long as the Ye Huo chakra is not exhausted, Revolving Heaven can continue to rotate. 10 seconds later, Revolving Heaven was still spinning. The people of the Senju clan were stunned. Why is Revolving Heaven still spinning?
This, shouldn't be. In 10 seconds, the 2 clones finally completed their ninjutsu preparations. This time, he must leave Hashirama behind. There are 2 clones, one in front and one in back. The avatar in front has his legs slightly bent and his right palm is gathered around his waist. The chakra in the palm condenses into the form of Rasengan. Chakra transforms into sharp wind energy, forming the shape of a spinning top.
Chapter 187 Destroying the God of Ninja. This change in form is formed by the fusion of wind attributes and 8 trigrams air palm. At that moment, the clone flew out with a palm. Super powerful 8 trigrams God's palm of the sky and wind. The powerful palm force penetrated the power of revolving heaven in an instant.
The spiral wind blade pillar with a diameter of 5 meters struck Senju Hashirama at lightning speed.
Sawdust flew and rocks flew everywhere. A huge linear pit was left on the ground. The other clone has been preparing for a long time.
At the moment when the palm force is released, he also rushed over at extremely fast speed. Senju Hashirama on the opposite side felt the attack of this terrifying 660.
At that moment, his figure jumped away and avoided this powerful blow. But almost at the same time, Ye Huo's clone had jumped in front of him.
At the same time, he put on a strange posture. The clone made a lunge, pressing down the body, with the left hand in front and the right hand behind. The hands were pointed together like swords. Chakra was released from the fingertips and condensed into a chakra knife. The wind attribute chakra blends into it and turns into a sharp chakra wind blade. 8 trigrams 6.4 million wind god palms. 200,000 palms. At that moment, the clone's 2 palms hit 2 acupuncture points on Senju Hashirama's shoulders.
The 2 palms instantly carried out 100,000 wind blade strikes each. The acupuncture points on his shoulders were connected to his flesh and penetrated in an instant.
Blood spurted out from Senju Hashirama's back. Senju Hashirama's arms suddenly lost mobility. 400,000 palms. Immediately afterwards, the clone's palms hit the 2 large acupoints of Senju Hashirama's legs. Blood burst out, meridians were severed, and Hashirama's legs lost mobility. 800,000 palms, 1.6 million palms, 3.2 million palms.
In just a short moment, Senju Hashirama's body was attacked one after another.
Senju Hashirama couldn't resist at all. Hyuga Ye Huo's taijutsu is definitely the most fishy taijutsu. 400,000 palms. At that moment, Ye Huo erupted, and the palm shadows were densely packed, hitting Senju Hashirama's body like a mountain in a tsunami.
Senju Hashirama's body instantly flew up and hit the Senju clan's camp hard.
All this happened in an instant. Senju Butsuma did not expect that his eldest son would die instantly. He hurriedly ran to Hashirama's side and checked briefly.
It was then that Hashirama's body suffered fatal injuries.
Butsuma's face instantly darkened. The terrifying chakra erupted instantly. Chakra, as condensed as a mountain and as powerful as the sea, poured into the long sword Miyu in his hand. There was a flash of light, and the long sword penetrated Ye Huo's clone. The clone didn't even have time to cast Revolving Heaven and died instantly. Ye Huo's body felt Butsuma's terrifying power and strong murderous intent. In that moment, the clone next to him stood in front of him and used the goggles Revolving Heaven. The main body instantly fled towards the direction of Dajai. Boy, where are you going to run away from? Senju Butsuma expelled 8 shuriken from his ninja bag. The lightning flashed, and the shuriken was filled with the power of lightning style.
Silver glare shines. Lightning style penetrates the air and makes a thunderous sound. At that moment, 8 lightning style shurikens shot at Ye Huo from all directions.
One of them directly pierced Revolving Heaven and strangled Ye Huo's shadow clone. Its momentum was not reduced at all, and it shot towards Ye Huo.
It depends on Ye Huo dying under this blow. Hyuga Hagoromo jumped down suddenly in the large village of the Hyuga clan.
He threw Ye Huo out. At the same time, he waved his palm. 8 trigrams God's sky palm. The powerful palm power transformed into a dark blue beam of light. Among them, the chakra spins rapidly, knocking away the lightning-style shuriken.
The next moment, Senju Butsuma had rushed over. Its palm contains majestic chakra, which condenses into dazzling lightning. The lightning attached to the long sword. Senju Butsuma gripped the sword tightly and stabbed Hagoromo's chest instantly. Hagoromo took a stance. Collision with Senju Butsuma's ninja sword. The ninjas of the Hyuga clan and the Senju clan looked at each other at the same time. The tip of the knife shot out and penetrated deeply into the ground. A dark blue giant fell from the sky. Click! Senju Butsuma's body was filled with lightning. He did not retreat but advanced, forcing him towards Hagoromo's revolving heaven with unparalleled strength. In the void, the heads of the Hyuga clan suddenly dimmed. The condensed and majestic chakra explodes instantly. They were all shocked by the sight. The dark blue revolving heaven appears at the same time. Is this the power of Chief Senju? Crack, crackle, crackle. Dark blue chakra kept being released from his body. Senju Buddha 4.0 feet-s ninja sword was immediately broken by the power of revolving heaven. A clear and harsh breaking sound suddenly sounded. Another mountain-like chakra suddenly erupted. He actually had to stand up to revolving heaven. But at this moment, a sudden change occurred. Chapter 188 The Giant Falling from the Sky. The blue giant is extremely huge. The height seems to be 1,000 meters. Like a blue mountain falling from the sky. The whole body is covered with blue-black scales.
It looks extremely hard. Two huge hands held a huge blue-black sword. With a sharp sound of breaking through the sky, it fell from the sky.
The black knife tore the air into two long air waves.
The air waves surged and crackled, like the turbulence of a river.
Such a blow would surely shake the world and make gods and ghosts cry.
Ye Huo was shocked. Is this the true strength of Chief Uchiha, Uchiha Tajima?
Senju Butsuma's face turned extremely serious for a moment. His figure instantly retreated, widening the distance between him and Yuya. Senju 12 Butsuma's hands quickly formed seals, and a large amount of soil suddenly began to gather around his body. But how could Hagoromo let Senju Butsuma leave so easily? Revolving Heaven stopped running, raised his hand and struck the 8 trigrams divine sky palm. At that moment, a chakra energy column with a diameter of only 10 meters but extremely condensed instantly defeated the soil around Senju Butsuma and hit his body heavily.
Senju Butsuma's chest instantly sunk in, and he groaned, and blood flowed out.
But the movements in his hands were not slow at all. A large amount of soil kept gathering, and finally condensed into a mountain-like giant. The giant held a condensed stone hammer in his hand and smashed it against the blue-black giant sword. The giant sword and the stone hammer collided in an instant. The airwaves rolled like surging ocean waves. A huge roar exploded in the air. 100,000 people of Hyuga and 3,000 ninjas of Senju felt an explosion in their ears. For a moment, no sound could be heard. Its power is terrifying. Visible general, followed by huge shockwaves impacting in all directions. Strong winds swept through, flying earth and rocks, and trees were uprooted. The Senju ninja outside were severely affected. He was immediately swept up. Many died tragically directly. Senju Butsuma saw that his own tribe had been affected and shouted hurriedly, "Uchiha Tajima, let's move to a spacious place and have a big fight." Senju Butsuma quickly strode away. Uchiha Tajima glanced at the 3,000 Senju ninjas. He originally wanted to kill all 3,000 Senju ninjas. But at this time, Senju Butsuma was injured by Hyuga Hagoromo. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that he could not let go. So, Senju Butsuma gave up the 3,000 Senju ninjas and chased Senju Butsuma in the distance. The third person in charge of the Senju clan saw that Hyuga and Uchiha had joined forces, and immediately issued an order to retreat. The 3,000 Senju army receded like a tide. Boxes of detonating charms, carts of shurikens, kunai, swords, military pills, and medical supplies are all still here. Senju retreated extremely hastily because he was afraid that his retreat would be cut off by Uchiha and he would be surrounded. The cheers of the Hyuga clan rang out in the Hyuga stronghold. "Retreat, retreat, the Gesho clan retreats. We won, Hahaha we won. We defeated the Senju clan, we defeated the Senju clan, Hahaha." This is all the credit of Lord Ye Huo. It was the reinforcements invited by Lord Ye Huo, and the enemy army of Senju was driven back. Long live Lord Ye Huo, long live Lord Ye Huo. Yuya looked in the direction of Daze.
Ye Huo's small figure was thrown high. Ye Huo also shouted, "What are you doing? Put me down, put me down." However, the excited Hyuga people did not listen at all. Throw Ye Huo up again and again. Venting the depression and excitement in my heart. Hayata walked to Hagoromo's side, with a look of joy on his face. "Mr. President, you are right. As long as Ye Huo-sama does it, he must be very sure." Yuya put his hands behind his back and said very proudly, "That's right, I dare not say anything about other aspects, but in terms of looking at people, that little brat Ye Huo is far from the boss and me. He wants to be Hyuga. Commander, you still have to practice." Hayata was overjoyed when he heard this and said excitedly, "Chief, what do you mean, you want Mr. Ye Huo to become the young chief?"
900. Yuya realized that he had made a mistake, his face changed, and he said to Hayata in an extremely solemn tone, "This matter must not be spoken out." Hayata nodded heavily, "Don't worry, Mr. President, I understand the importance."
Hagoromo nodded and then said, "Let's collect the loot. The Senju clan is really rich. Now we have enough weapons and equipment."
Hayata couldn't help but said, "Take them all away? Nonsense, if you don't take them all away, why don't you wait for Senju to come back to pick them up? No, I mean, do you want to leave half for Uchiha? What the heck, Uchiha is a big clan, can you value this? If you leave it to Uchiha, wouldn't it mean you're burying the family? We can just keep these bits and pieces to ourselves." Hagoromo's mouth was full of smiles, and Hayata led 10,000 people to carry it.
The supplies piled up like a mountain, and it took most of the time to move them.
Hayata clicked his tongue and said, "Senju is so rich." However, the general manager seems a little confused, so many supplies are still said to be fragmentary, which is really embarrassing.
Chapter 189. 100,000 times body replacement technique. The battle between Uchiha Tajima and Senju Butsuma lasted for several days and nights.
In the end, Uchiha Tajima suffered serious injuries, but still failed to win Butsuma. The vitality of the Senju clan is so tenacious. In this regard, only the Uzumaki clan can rival them. Soon, Uchiha's follow-up troops hurriedly arrived.
He originally wanted to encircle and annihilate the Senju clan.
But the third leader of the Senju clan is too decisive. All supplies were discarded. The whole army gathered at an extremely fast speed. In the end, he returned to the clan unscathed. Uchiha threw himself in the air, furious. Arriving in front of the Hyuga clan's stronghold, ready to collect the loot, they learned that all the supplies and strategic materials of the Senju clan's 3,000 ninjas had been confiscated by the Hyuga clan. Uchiha Tianfeng aggressively approached Hyuga Yuya for theory. Hagoromo continued to be miserable, and then praised Uchiha as a big clan, not a small clan, rich in materials, and with many strategic resources.
Hagoromo said that he thought Uchiha didn't like this stuff, so he ordered them all to be moved back. Since Uchiha wanted it, Hagoromo loaded 1/10 of the supplies on the car and prepared to bring Uchiha back to Uchiha.
Uchiha is a proud clan. Tianfeng did not ask for these supplies because he was concerned about Uchiha's face, but he did ask for healing jutsu from the Hyuga clan. Yuya asked Ye Huo to make a weakened healing jutsu overnight and gave it to Tianfeng. Tianfeng then left. In this battle, Hyuga was in danger of annihilation. However, Hyuga benefited greatly from dealing with the two wealthy Uchiha and Senju families.
Not long after, the Tien clan sent Hitan's envoy.
Senju no longer has the arrogance of the past. He said that he wanted to reconcile with the Hyuga clan and wanted to redeem the 200 Senju ninjas. Yuya greeted him with a smile, and served him with good wine and delicious food. At the same time, he did not forget that the lion opened his mouth and asked for enough food to feed 100,000 Hyuga ninjas for 2 years. Senju felt like vomiting blood after hearing this. But in order to stabilize Hyuga, he did not join forces with Uchiha. I can only agree. Uchiha also came to see Hyuga. Uchiha's attitude is not as friendly as Senju's. I am proud of Hyuga for helping you. Hyuga was asked to send troops to besiege Senju with Uchiha. Hagoromo was still miserable, saying that the Hyuga clan was extremely injured in this battle. Then the men with Uchiha went around among the wounded soldiers. Hundreds of wounded soldiers. But most of them were caused by the Hyuga clan themselves in order to deal with Uchiha. Most of them were skin injuries, but they screamed violently, but nothing serious happened. Messenger Uchiha doesn't care about this, he must send troops to Hyuga.
So Hyuga directly sent out some veterans in their 50s and 60s. They were all veterans with rich combat experience. Hyuga was so angry that Tianfeng left angrily, threatening that next time Senju came to attack Hyuga again, Uchiha would never help.
Yuya kept feeling miserable, but secretly cursed in his heart, if you don't come, I will surrender. I'll see if you come. As soon as Uchiha left, Hyuga immediately held a celebration party, and the wounded soldiers had the most fun. A few days later, Yuya held another meeting. Hagoromo divided the entire Hyuga clan of ninjas into 5 squadrons. Each regiment has 1,500 men. And Hyuga Ye Huo, Hyuga Nobunaga, Hyuga Zaifeng, Hyuga Tianfeng, Hyuga Ansui serve as the 5 alliances. And Hagoromo serves as the captain of the 5 regiments, and Hyuga Ye Huo also serves as the deputy captain, assisting Hagoromo in training the Hyuga ninja. This move caused an uproar within the Hyuga clan.
For a time, everyone was speculating that Ye Huo would become the next young chief. This made some elders of the Hyuga clan feel a sense of crisis and objected one after another. Due to pressure and to protect Ye Huo, Hyuga Hagoromo appointed Hyuga Ninkun as the acting young director. This move left everyone confused. Although Hyuga Ninkun is good, it is far inferior to the Hyuga Hanabi of the Zong family, let alone Hyuga Ye Huo. No one understands why Yuya chose Ninkun but not Hanabi and Ye Huo.
Ye Huo has no interest in being the president or not. Ye Huo discovered this time that 3-body technique is indeed the most basic ninjutsu.
But there is no way. As for the ultra-fast body replacement technique, there is no need to form a seal, and the body replacement can be completed with just a thought, and the speed is as fast as ultimate. Hyuga is very unreasonable in this operation. It's like selling Uchiha once. This is the weakness of small clans. It can still play a huge role at critical moments. Ye Huo started practicing body replacement technique.
2. Chaokui body replacement technique. 1. Lots of body replacement techniques.
As long as you don't go into the sea, his super fast body replacement technique can basically be used. Still need to practice. Ding. Congratulations to host for learning the body replacement technique. Close black lens bracket.
Ye Huo didn't think twice and said directly, I choose the super fast body replacement technique. He had a solid foundation and learned it almost instantly. Ye Huo chose clods of earth as his medium. 100,000 times reward is triggered. There are many body replacement techniques, which allow you to use a variety of objects, no good ones, for replacement without having to choose special objects for replacement. This is very useful in complex situations.
You can encounter things like clods of soil everywhere. Chapter 190 Firmly support Mr. Ye Huo. Once the Hyuga clan really follows Uchiha to attack Senju.
Then Senju will give priority to destroying the Hyuga clan. Then focus all your strength to fight Uchiha. Put the easy things first and then the difficult ones. This is the most basic tactic in strategy. If Hyuga is a powerful clan equal to Senju Uchiha, Then the two major forces can completely join forces and completely crush the other celestial clan. But it's a pity. Hyuga simply does not have such strength. Hyuga has a total population of 100,000. There are more than 7,500 Chunin among them. Uchiha and Senju both have populations of 1 million. The number of ninjas is more than 100,000, and he is also the kind of ninja who has been fighting all year round and has great fighting qualities. These ninjas are scattered all over the world, deliver various messages to Uchiha and Senju, conquer major families, large and small, and act as spies, lobbyists, etc. In short, 670 words are all working hard for the clan. In comparison, the Hyuga family does not have such a complicated structure. People from the Hyuga clan are rarely interested in being spies. The reason is very simple. With those white eyes, everyone knows that he belongs to the Hyuga clan. When you go to other ethnic groups will be wary of you. It is impossible to get really useful information. The power of the Byakugan also brings disadvantages to the Hyuga clan. This makes Hyuga less well informed. The message is blocked. As for Senju's conspiracy against Hyuga, Hyuga didn't react until someone called him. If it weren't for Ye Huo's emergence, the Hyuga clan may have already returned to Senju's command. Act as cannon fodder in Senju's battle with Uchiha.
But now the battle is over. Both Senju and Uchiha have redefined the Hyuga clan BCBJ.
The Hyuga clan is not very powerful, but it is definitely not weak either.
If you want to take down the Hyuga clan, you will never be able to do it without using the Sky Force.
But if large forces are used, the defenses in other places will inevitably be scattered.
Your real enemy will take advantage of you. Therefore, for the time being, the Hyuga clan is still safe. However, this safety period will not last long. Because before the decisive battle between Senju and Uchiha comes. If Hyuga hesitates and wants to neutrally take advantage of the two clans, he will definitely be attacked by Senju and Uchiha first. First eliminate the Hyuga at both ends of the headrat, and then engage in the final battle. Ye Huo is also very clear about this. So Ye Huo's first suggestion as the chief's deputy was to have more children.
For so many years, the Hyuga clan has not participated in external battles, but has been farming and accumulated a large amount of food.
Especially during the battle with Senju. The prisoners of war alone were exchanged for enough food to feed Hyuga's 100,000 people for 2 years. Coupled with the supplies seized during the war, it was enough to feed the Hyuga clan for 3 years. Including the Hyuga group's own food reserves, it is enough for the Hyuga family to feed themselves for more than 5 years. Moreover, this year is also a good year for a bumper harvest. The geographical wheat is growing well and we can harvest a lot of goods.
Hyuga's crisis is resolved. Ordinary people from each branch sect returned to their villages one after another. However, most of the ninjas stayed in the clan and underwent unified training. After this battle, Hyuga realized how little combat experience he had.
Ye Huo deeply understands that with the strength of the Hyuga clan, it is absolutely impossible to compete with Uchiha and Senju. If you want to survive in this troubled world, you must win more allies.
So Ye Huo had a bold plan. At the meeting of the Hyuga clan, Ye Huo, as the captain and deputy to the captain, revealed his plan. We want to get married. Marriage? The clan elders of the Hyuga clan frowned. The Byakugan bloodline of my Hyuga clan must not be spread, and marriage is absolutely not allowed. Yes, Hyuga's Byakugan is the most powerful pupil technique. He must not marry a foreigner. Yes, we, the Hyuga clan, must never intermarry with foreigners.
Ye Huo turned his attention to Hyuga Nobunaga, the captain of the 5 alliances. Nobunaga sighed and said, although I also want to oppose the marriage, under the current situation, there is really no better way than this. If we don't find a way to change and continue to be conservative like this, sooner or later Senju and Uchiha will completely engulf our Hyuga clan. We must make changes. Marriage is indeed a good way. Hyuga Zaifeng actually agreed with Hyuga Nobunaga at this time. I think marriage is feasible. Hyuga Nobunaga looked at Hyuga Zaifeng in surprise. I thought that if I agree, you must oppose it. Hyuga Zaifeng snorted coldly. Every word I say is for Hyuga. The captains of the other 3 regiments all nodded in agreement, but it was the stubborn old man from the Zong family who refused to agree. Finally, Ye Huo looked at Hayata, who was a loyal supporter of Ye Huo, and said loudly, I firmly support Mr. Ye Mie. Yuya chuckled and did not continue the topic, but said, even if it is a marriage, we must first discuss which clan to marry with. I would like to know, Ye Huo, which clan is your ideal clan?
Chapter 191. The Ancestor of the Sealing Technique. Ye Huo heard the words and slowly uttered 2 words, Whirlpool.
I heard these 2 words. The elders of the clan breathed a sigh of relief, with a sarcastic smile on their lips. Yuya's brows also frowned, and he said slowly, Ye Huo, you still don't know that the Senju clan has reached a cooperation with the Uzumaki clan. Now there is news that the young commander of the Senju clan, Senju Hashirama, and the young commander of the Uzumaki clan, Uzumaki Mito, seem to be getting married.
If we marry the Uzumaki clan again at this time, it will definitely not be Uzumaki Mito. If this is the case, wouldn't we indirectly become a vassal force of the Senju clan? Hearing this, Ye Huo smiled lightly and said, if it's a marriage, then of course it has to be with Uzumaki Mito. If it's someone else, that won't work. Hagoromo narrowed his eyes slightly, stared at Ye Huo and said, are you sure you can convince the chief of the Uzumaki clan to marry me, Hyuga? Ye Huo said decisively, as long as I go there in person, this matter will be done. Yuya looked at Ye Huo for a while, then turned to several elders of the Hyuga clan and said, how about we let this kid try it? The elders of several clans murmured for a while, and the last elder said, okay. The elder looked at Ye Huo with a sarcastic look. That means saying, your boy will definitely not be able to complete his mission here. Ye Huo also ignored these old antiques and said again, Chief Hagoromo, I would also like to ask young Chief Hyuga Ninken to go with me. The young chief of the Uzumaki clan must naturally be matched by the young chief of the Hyuga clan. Yuya frowned when he heard this. In his heart, Ninken would have to give Shion to Ye Huo sooner or later. But if Ninken and Uzumaki Mito become a couple, where will Ye Huo be in the future? But the next moment, a smile appeared on his lips. Yes, the young president of the Uzumaki clan will naturally be married by me, the young president of the Hyuga clan. I will write a letter in person and bring it to you, Ye Huo, and give it to the chief of the Whirlpool clan at the critical moment. Maybe it can help you complete this mission. Ye Huo was slightly surprised when he heard this, wondering what the old man Yuya was up to. It didn't take long for Hagoromo to write the letter. At the same time, it was sealed with the powerful chakra. This is a special sealing technique. If you destroy the letter by force, you will destroy it. Ye Huo accepted the letter and thought to himself, what is this old man doing? It's so mysterious that he even hides it from himself. Ye Huo has always been resolute. After getting Hagoromo's handwriting, he immediately went to the Uzumaki clan. Ye's fear of delay will lead to change, so he transformed into the extremely fast golden-winged rock again, carrying Hyuga Hayata, a great master, and Ning-kun, and flew towards the Uzumaki clan. Looking down at the ninja world in midair, Senju and Uchiha just experienced a big battle. The ground is devastated, many bookmakers were ruined. I don't know how many people will starve and freeze because of the war.
Ye Huo is extremely fast. But he only knew the general direction, and Hayata was also confused. After flying for a while, the two came down and asked where the Whirlpool clan's clan was. Finally, Ye Huo determined that the Whirlpool clan was located on a plain on the east side of the ninja continent.
Ye Huo Feifei asked and found the Whirlpool clan in just one day. Please give me flowers. The Uzumaki clan also built a small city against the mountain. Viewed from midair, the city wall looks like a horseshoe. There are houses one after another inside, and there are thousands of them, large and small.
There are at least tens of thousands of people in such a big city. Moreover, not all members of the Whirlpool clan gathered in the city. The Uzumaki clan even has super powerful ninjas. It has a population of more than 100,000. The genes of the Whirlpool clan are very powerful. Comparable to Hyuga, possessing a large amount of chakra. 0. 8 Sign Seal, Magic 9 Dragon Seal, Diamond Lock Seal, 4 Elephant Seal, Contract Seal, etc. Uzumaki Ashina, Uzumaki Mito, Uzumaki Kushina, Uzumaki Nagato, Uzumaki Naruto, etc. Farming is always the foundation of an ethnic group and the lifeblood of a country.
The Whirlpool clan is also a large clan. Like the Hyuga, a large number of tribesmen are scattered throughout the country to engage in farming. Moreover, the Whirlpool clan possesses powerful sealing techniques. If the next generation born from the union of Uzumaki and Hyuga had the physique of the Uzumaki clan and the Byakugan bloodline of Hyuga, I don't know how terrifying it would be. When the Uzumaki clan ninjas guarding the city saw Ye Huo, Hayata, and Ninken, they immediately shouted, "Who are you? Please stop." The Uzumaki clan, possessing powerful sealing techniques and a huge chakra, can definitely be called a powerful clan. When Ye Huo was thinking wildly, he had already arrived in front of the Whirlpool clan's city gate. The most critical point is that the vitality of the Uzumaki clan is also extremely powerful. Now, the leader of the Uzumaki clan is Uzumaki Ashina, who is known as the founder of the sealing technique. Chapter 192 Peerless Genius Hayata said loudly, "We are members of the Hyuga clan."
This is Ye Huo, the young commander of our Hyuga clan, as well as the first wing captain and deputy wing commander of the Hyuga clan, asking to see Mr. Uzumaki Ashina, the commander-in-chief of the Uzumaki clan. Nowadays, the affairs of the Hyuga clan have been spread in the ninja world.
Hagoromo of the Hyuga clan seriously injured Senju Morima. Use Uchiha to repel Senju's attack. Hyuga also produced a unique genius, Hyuga Ye Huo. The terms Hyuga and Ye Huo are spread everywhere in the ninja world. It turns out to be a friend of the Hyuga clan. Please wait a moment.
The ninjas of the Uzumaki clan hurriedly came down from the tower and went to report the 097 incident to Uzumaki Ashina.
He quickly approached the Uzumaki clan's training ground.
In the training ground, various runes are painted and engraved everywhere. In the center of the talisman sits an 11 or 12-year-old girl. The girl has delicate features and is very beautiful. At this time, it raised its ears and the runes began to tremble. The deep voice of an old man on the side sounded slowly, "Your heart is already in chaos, stop it." The girl dispersed the chakra and slowly opened her eyes. They were extremely beautiful eyes, as bright as stars. The old man also slowly opened his eyes and taught a lesson: a seal, although it has powerful power, is also extremely dangerous. You can't be distracted at all and reach out your hand. The girl frowned, stretched out her palm, and whispered, "Grandpa, hit gently." Snapped. The old man brought the ruler down hard, and the girl's palms turned red, and her eyes also turned red.
The old man put down his ruler, turned around, pushed the door open and walked out.
The ninja who had already delivered the message hurriedly said outside, "Mr. President, the young president of the Hyuga clan, the captain and deputy commander of the 5th Regiment, Uchiha Ye Huo, is also here, and Hyuga Hayata is also here."
The old man frowned slightly. That Hyuga brat. Why is he here? Take them to the living room.
Not long after, Ye Huo, Hayata, and Ninkun were received into the living room. "I have met the chief, Hyuga Hayata. This is the young chief of our Hyuga clan, Hyuga Ninkun." Hayata introduced Hyuga Ningnura. Hyuga Ninkun is also a genius of Hyuga, but the appearance of Ye Huo and Hanabi overshadowed his light. At only 10 years old, he has already trained Hyuga Byakugan to an advanced level. At the same time, he mastered many secret techniques of Hyuga. The eyes are always higher than the top. At this time, he was named the young chief of the Hyuga clan. Very proud. He thinks that he will be the commander-in-chief of Hyuga in the future, and Hanabi and Ye Huo will be just soldiers in his hands.
Ning Kun crossed his arms over his chest, looking proud. He knew that his trip was in conjunction with Uzumaki Mido. But he was very disdainful of this approach. However, for the sake of his future position as chief executive, he still felt that he should condescend a little. Having said this, Ye Huo's face suddenly became solemn and his voice became serious.
Uzumaki Ashina laughed loudly when he heard this. "I've heard that you brat is extremely talented, but I see that you are even more powerful with your tongue. If you flatter me, I feel comfortable. I will give you a chance to talk about your trip. Why do you come?" Haha. The boy told the truth, and there was absolutely no bragging. However, the boy came here this time for the life and death of the Hyuga and Uzumaki clans. Ye Huo said with a solemn expression, "Mr. President, if we, a small family, want to survive in the gap between the two major clans, the only way is to unite." Although Ashina didn't say anything about driving people away, the meaning was already obvious.
Ninken nodded towards Uzumaki Ashina with an arrogant attitude.
Ashina smiled coldly when he heard this. "Stop patting me on the horse. Tell me why you don't dare to call me a genius in front of me. If you are wrong, huh?" Uzumaki narrowed his eyes slightly. "Little guy, what do you want to say?" "Mr. Ashina, you are a patriarch-level figure. You won't care about us young boys, right?"
Hayata was embarrassed for a while and hurriedly introduced again. "This is
Uchiha will have a battle with 4.4 Senju sooner or later. Before they have a decisive battle, they must clean up and win over large clans with a population of 100,000 such as Uzumaki, Hyuga, Nara, Akamiki, Yamanaka, Yuru, Inazuka, etc.
No introduction is needed." Uzumaki Ashina looked at Ye Huo and said calmly. "This should be the Hyuga genius Ye Huo who has been rumored recently.
Once the two tribes are drawn over, our tribe will definitely be sent to the front line, while the Uchiha and Senju tribesmen will stay at the back. They will not go out to fight until we are all gone." Ye Huo bowed slightly and saluted. "You are really Hyuga Ye Huo. In front of Mr. Ashina, I don't dare to act like a genius." Hearing this, Ye Huo said, "The life and death of Hyuga and the Uzumaki clan are naturally not in my mouth, but in the general trend of the world." Uzumaki Ashina smiled coldly and glanced at Hayata. Uzumaki Ashina sneered when he heard this. "Little doll, you are really arrogant. Opening and closing your mouth is the life and death of the two clans. Do you think the life and death of my Uzumaki clan are still in your mouth?" Chief Ashina started practicing at the age of 3. He learned contract sealing at the age of 5. At the age of 6, he learned the diamond lock seal at the age of 12.
He learned the 8-sign seal at the age of 15.
The sealing techniques used by Mr. Ashina to this day. There are countless kinds of it, and he is even praised by the ninja world as the founder of sealing techniques. Chapter 193. One person is inferior to 10,000 people. Unite. Uzumaki Ashina looked at Ye Huo with a smile. "How to unite? How can you guarantee that after the alliance, I, the Uzumaki clan, will not betray you, Hyuga? How can you guarantee that your Hyuga will not betray our Uzumaki?" Ye Huo raised the corner of his mouth slightly and said, "It's very simple, marriage." Uzumaki Ashina looked at Ye Huo. "Can you make the decision?" Ye Huo said, "Chief Ashina, although I am young, the title on my head is not small. I have 1,500 direct ninjas in my hands, who have full authority to obey my orders. Moreover, I am also the deputy chief, and I have a pivotal position in the Hyuga clan. Besides, I haven't heard much from Commander Ashina about the recent events.
Chief Ashina should also be very clear about my status in the Hyuga clan.
I can fully represent Commander Hagoromo." Uzumaki Ashina took a deep look at Ye Huo and said, if I, the Uzumaki clan, could produce a genius like you.
Ye Huo smiled and said, Chief Ashina is being humble. Everyone in the ninja world knows that Miss Mito of the Uzumaki clan is a genius that is rare to see in 100 years.
That little girl's talent is indeed pretty good, but she still can't compare to you. Uzumaki Ashina laughed, obviously very satisfied with Mito, and said immediately, the marriage is indeed good. Except for Mito among my clan, you can choose any girl from the Hyuga clan. When Hyuga Ninkun heard this, he snorted coldly, I am the young chief of Hyuga. If I want to marry, I naturally have to marry the young chief of the Uzumaki clan. Otherwise, why would I come all the way here?
Uzumaki Ashina's face sank, and he looked at Ye Huo and said, Do you think I would marry my precious grandson to such a loser? Hyuga Ninkun was furious and scolded, Old man, who do you think is a waste? Ye Huo was furious, and the powerful chakra suddenly erupted, condensing into a huge blue palm, and slapped Hyuga Ninkun on the chest. Boom! Hyuga Ninkun was directly shot and flew out.
He fell hard in the courtyard. Ye Huo said slowly, Mr. Ashina is laughing at me. My young master is still young and not sensible. Please forgive me. Uzumaki Ashina looked at Ye Huo with a strange look, I think you are younger than him, right?
Ye Huo was stunned, he had never considered this issue.
Ye Huo pondered for a moment and said slowly, it's not important. Lord Ashina, I hope you can seriously consider it. If our two races can cooperate, then our two races will no longer be a force that can be manipulated by Uchiha and Ye Huo. Ashina Uzumaki shook his head and said, Ye Huo, to tell you the truth, Uzumaki is ready to cooperate with Senju, and I got the news from Senju that Senju is preparing to let Senju Hashirama welcome Kazuo. Ashina then looked at Ninjutsu and said, compared with a waste, a boy who may become the strongest in the ninja world, if it were you, which one would you let your granddaughter choose? Ye Huo's face sank slightly, Senju will only treat the Whirlpool as cannon fodder, which will be the Whirlpool's disaster. But there will definitely be blood in the Whirlpool, right?
Okay. No need to say more, it is absolutely impossible for my granddaughter to marry that loser outside. Let's go. See a visitor out. Uzumaki Ashina stood up and Ye Huo let out a long sigh. He had thought of his words, but he had forgotten the variable Ninkun. At this moment, he suddenly thought of what Yuya told him before leaving, to take out the letter if he encounters difficulties. How did the old man know that his trip would not go well? Tet. A dead horse is treated as a living horse doctor. See if the letter is of any use. Chief Ashina, please wait, I have a letter here from my head, Hyuga. Uzumaki Ashina stopped when he heard this and turned to look at Ye Huo. Ye Huo took out the letter from his arms. 367 Uzumaki clan members had already come forward to fetch it and gave it to Ashina. Ashina checked the letter, and then made a gesture to open the seal, and the letter was opened. Ye Huo was curious as to why Ashina opened the letter so easily. You must know that sealing techniques are all kinds of strange and diverse. He had expected Ashina to study it for at least a few days. Unexpectedly, it opened immediately. Ashina took out the letter and began to read it. His expression changed instantly. He put the letter away again and sat back in his seat. Just looking straight at Ye Huo. This made Ye Huo feel a little embarrassed, and at the same time he was also a little curious in his heart. What exactly was written in Chief Hagoromo's letter? Ashina seemed to have a change of heart. After a while, Ye Huo finally couldn't help but asked, General Ashina, you have read the letter from our general manager, what do you think? What? Ashina seemed to be in a trance. Chapter 194 The Ghoul Ban with 100,000 times reward. Ye Huo asked again, how has Chief Ashina considered the marriage? Ashina looked at Ye Huo again and said complexly, I still need to investigate and see if what your chief said is true. How about this? You will live in the Uzumaki clan these days. I won't let you come here in vain. Uzumaki, how about I let you learn one of the clan's sealing techniques? Ye Huo's eyes lit up when he heard this. The sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan is unique in the ninja world. Now that the old man Ashina has given him this opportunity, you absolutely cannot miss it. Thank you very much, Chief Ashina. A smile appeared on the corner of Ashina's lips and he said, in a moment, I will ask someone to take you to choose the sealing technique. Ashina turned and left. There were clan members looking after Ye Huo and the other three. But basically it revolves around Ye Huo. Ninkun looked at Ye Huo angrily. He gritted his teeth. He decided that he must kill this Ye Huo. He must find a chance to kill this guy, and Hayata saw Ninkun's resentful look in his eyes. He sneered in his heart, you are just a puppet. The position of chief will only belong to Lord Ye Huo. I hope you won't do anything stupid. Ye Huo and others have just arrived at their residence. After briefly freshening up, there was a knock on the door. Hayata opened the door, and a pretty girl walked in. She said very gently, excuse me, does Mr. Ye Huo live here? Yes. Who are you? Hayata looked at the girl in front of him and couldn't help but admire, what a gentle and polite girl. The girl smiled softly, I was sent by Mr. Ye Huo to choose the sealing technique. Okay, wait a minute. Hayata was about to call Ye Huo, but Ye Huo had already walked out and said calmly, lead the way. The girl glanced at Ye Huo and giggled playfully. Ye Huo was thinking about the sealing technique of the vortex. Seeing that the girl just smiled but didn't move, he urged, lead the way. Only then did the girl react and said hurriedly, okay, I'll lead the way. After saying that, the girl made a face at Ye Huo. He's not that big, but he's quite fierce. Ye Huo ignored the girl. The girl stretched out a hand and pinched Ye Mie's baby fat face.
Ye Huo turned around and looked at the girl. The girl didn't feel embarrassed and pinched her face, giggling and saying, little brother, your face is really elastic.
Ye Huo was speechless for a while and said calmly, I'm done pinching, let's lead the way. The girl chuckled, let go of her hand, and immediately started chatting. I've heard about you a long time ago, saying that you were so fierce, and capable of killing people, but I think you were quite cute and chubby. It's very comfortable to pinch. How far away is the place where the sealing technique is stored? Ye Huo had a headache. This girl was so eloquent. Why are you anxious? The sealing technique is there and it can escape. And what's so fun about sealing? It's boring. Let me tell you, the mountain flowers of our Uzumaki clan are particularly beautiful. Let me take you to see the flowers. The girl began to seduce Ye Huo. Ye Huo, one big and the other big, corrected again, are you sent here by Chief Ashina to take me to learn the sealing technique? On the rooftop in the distance, Ashina Uzumaki looked at Ye Huo and the girl with an inexplicable smile on her lips. Seal, you know the seal, you boys are so boring, okay, I'll take you there right now. The girl snorted softly and saw Ye Huo brought to the room where the seals are stored. Ye Huo looked at the bookshelves in the room. The shelves were filled with various ninjutsu scrolls.
Their names are written on the side. Water style seal technique, fire seal technique, atomization seal technique, Lujong light seal technique, chakra seal technique. Ye Huo looked slightly sideways and asked, what is the use of this chakra sealing technique?
The girl said, this is to seal the chakra and store it in the body. Ye Huo suddenly realized that Tsunade's 100 healings mark should be inspired by this chakra sealing technique. Do you want to choose this? The girl asked. Ye Huo shook his head and continued to look inside. There were too many sealing techniques, which made Ye Huo dizzy. He had never heard of the sealing technique here before.
Finally, he saw the 8 trigrams seal, and then the Vajra lock seal.
The Vajra lock seal can seal the head. Ye Huo was very interested in this and asked, can I choose this Vajra lock seal? The girl shook her head and said, this Vajra lock seal can only be used by members of the Whirlpool clan, not you. Yi Li Dahao couldn't help but said, then you tell me directly what I can practice. At that moment, the girl began to point to Ye Huo. This, the 5 elements seal, can seal 5 kinds of chakra, and this, boundary seal, is a teleportation seal that can transmit the opponent's attack to the other side. This is the ghoul. Sealing the end, forget it, this is not a good thing, so I won't introduce it. Ghoul seal. Ye Huo was stunned for a moment, then hurriedly stopped and stared at the seal. The girl was stunned and couldn't help but said, Ye Huo, look at what it is, I can tell you, this is an ominous sealing technique, you can't choose it. Ye Huo's eyes were filled with excitement, and he said immediately, I'm going to choose it. Chapter 195 The infinite corpses are sealed away. Ghoul seal is a ninjutsu that can seal the soul. This is definitely the most powerful sealing technique that can be challenged beyond levels. If after 100,000 times increase, I don't know if he can change his shortcomings of sacrificing his own soul. You must try it yourself. I want it. Ye Huo's eyes flashed and his tone was extremely firm. The girl continued to advise, this seal will take away your soul, it is ominous. I know, but I want it. Please help me unlock the seal on this scroll. The girl bit her red lips, frowned, then pulled Ye Huo and walked out. Ye Huo couldn't help but ask, what are you doing? Girl 847 said, I can't make the decision on this sealing technique, I have to ask Grandpa. Grandpa? Ye Huo was stunned. In the main hall, the girl behaved very well and narrated what happened. Ashina frowned slightly, looked at Yi and said, are you sure you want to learn that? Ye Huo nodded and said, yes, I want to learn that. Okay, then I will seal all the corpses and pass them on to you. Ashina nodded in agreement. The girl on the side had an ugly face. Grandpa, didn't you mean it was an ominous technique? Ashina looked at the girl and said, it is indeed an ominous technique, but it also has great intimidation power. If he learns it, then even the most powerful ninja will not dare to act rashly when facing this brat. This is a double-edged sword. How to use it depends on the kid, and I believe that this kid will definitely use this ninjutsu to the ultimate level. In the following time, Ye Huo was taken into a strange closed room.
There are various runes on all sides of the room.
Ashina said, to learn the sealing technique, you must be calm, especially for sealing the corpses. You must be in an extremely peaceful state of mind. These runes can let me know your state of mind. If you are upset, I will hit you. Stop your cultivation process. I have given you the training methods. Once you have completed the training, remember not to use it. You can only use this ninjutsu when you are sure that you will die. Do you remember? Ye Huo nodded. BCBF. Remember, let's get started.
Yeah, the next moment Ashina began to teach the Ye Huo formula, and explain how to operate chakra and form seals.
The speed with which Ye Huo integrated everything made even Ashina feel incredible. In just an hour, Ye Huo fully understood and began to try to practice. Sealing ninjutsu requires extreme concentration and precise control of chakra. Ye Huo meets this condition in all aspects. So Ye Huo is making rapid progress. This retreat lasted for 5 days. For 5 days, Ye Huo continued to undergo special qualitative transformations with his own chakra. Then condensed into runes. These runes come together to form a Shinigami.
This Shinigami can only be seen by those caught by it or those who have also practiced this sealing technique.
Suddenly, the ugly ghost that was 100 meters high appeared on Ye Huo's body. Ashina was extremely shocked. He stared at Ye Huo with wide eyes. This doll's ninjutsu talent is truly terrifying. In just 5 days, he actually learned how to seal away all zombies. It's more than 10 times faster than it was back then. At this time, he had believed most of what Yuya said in the letter. Almost at the same time, the system's voice sounded in Ye Huo's mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for learning how to seal off zombies. 100,000 times reward is triggered. 1. Super powerful zombie ban. 2. Unlimited corpse ban. Chapter 196. The corpses are sealed away without any drawbacks.
Ye Huo checked the 2 rewards. The super powerful zombie seal can seal an energy body that is 100,000 times stronger than its own soul at one time. At the same time, the soul will be swallowed by Shinigami forever.
The infinite corpse seal can only seal an energy body with twice the power of one's own soul at a time, but the soul will not be swallowed by the Shinigami. Ye Huo is overjoyed. This second kind of reward is what he wants. You can really get whatever you want. I choose to seal away the infinite corpses. With Ye Huo's selection completed, the next moment, the 100-meter high Shinigami on Ye Huo suddenly let out a shrill scream. The Shinigami kept howling, and liquid flowed out of its 7 holes. Ashina was shocked and looked at the Shinigami in horror. Shinigami's eyes gradually became hollow. For a moment, Shinigami stopped howling, and there was no longer any sinister aura.
Just filled with that special energy. At this moment, Shinigami has lost his own soul. Became Ye Huo's puppet. Ashina looked at Ye Huo in shock. Hagoromo was right. Any ninjutsu will exert more powerful energy in the hands of this little guy.
Ashina's eyes suddenly became hot. This little guy is a treasure. What a huge treasure. Yuya looked at Ye Huo with extremely hot eyes. This little guy must not be allowed to run away. At this time, Ye Huo slowly opened his eyes and said to Ashina, "Thank you, Chief Ashina, for giving me this sealing technique. I have learned it."
Ashina asked excitedly, "Boy, what happened to your zombie seal?"
Ye Huo was determined to win over the Uzumaki clan, so he said, "Now that I'm using Ghoul Seal, my soul will not be swallowed by the Shinigami." As expected, ha. Ashina said excitedly, "How do you operate chakra and form seals? Can you teach me?" Ye Huo thought for a moment and nodded, "Okay." After another 3 days, Ashina and Ye Huo walked out of the quiet room. Ashina's face was rosy. Although he had not been able to seal away the ghosts as terrifyingly as Ye Huo, at this time he could no longer only use the house ghost seal once.
Ashina was overjoyed, so he held a meeting of the whole clan and called Ye Huo, Hayata, and Ninkun.
And there is an important thing that needs to be done by him. The Whirlpool clan meeting was held as scheduled. Ashina said in surprise, "Now I declare that I will marry my granddaughter Uzumaki Mito to Hyuga Ye Huo of the Hyuga clan." Before coming, Yuya told him all about this. Uzumaki Mito was also confused. "Ask for flowers, no. I am the young leader of the Hyuga clan. If Hyuga Mito wants to marry, she can only marry me." Hyuga Ninkun was furious. This was supposed to be a wife for himself, but how did it become a wife for Ye Huo? Wife. Let him make it happen. The elders of the Whirlpool clan were confused. Standing below were 3 members of the Hyuga clan. Can I still keep my position as the young commander? Hyuga Ye Huo. Hyuga Ninkun was also confused. 3 days later. Point 0. The elders of the Uzumaki clan also objected. No, absolutely not. Although we have not yet been engaged to the Senju clan, we have reached a consensus with the Senju clan in private. If Ye Huo combines with the Uzumaki clan, what dignity will he have?
In the main hall, Ashina sat at the head of the table, flanked by the elders of the Uzumaki clan and Uzumaki Mito and her parents.
Only Hyuga Hayata had a smile on his lips. Chapter 197, the top powerhouse in the ninja world. Yes, if Mito is married to Hyuga at this time, how will we explain it to Senju? What should we do if the Senju clan raises an army to attack? Ashina Uzumaki was determined. He has already seen Ye Huo's future. He can definitely become the top expert in the entire ninja world.
As long as you survive the period of year growth.
Uzumaki and Hyuga will become the first-class wealthy families in the entire ninja world. 727 will replace the status of the Uchiha and Senju clan.
This is a gamble. This is a hugely profitable investment.
Even if he offended Senju, he would not hesitate. What's more, Uzumaki hasn't married Senju yet. I have made up my mind to unite with Hyuga. This is my decision. Which of you old immortals will object again? I'll let him have a taste of my corpse seal first. After saying that, Uzumaki Ashina's body suddenly erupted with strong chakra. Chakra becomes a special energy. The surrounding temperature dropped suddenly. The elders of the Whirlpool clan suddenly fell silent. Sealing all corpses and ghosts is the most vicious sealing technique of the Whirlpool clan. Ashina is also a madman, but there are also people who want to touch this madman's anger.
An elder from the Uzumaki clan who was close to Senju said angrily, Ashina, do you know what you are doing?
You are provoking Senju's anger, you are bringing disaster to the Whirlpool. Ashina snorted coldly, and that special energy quality turned into Shinigami. The next moment, Shinigami stretched out his palm and grabbed the elder's soul. The elder's soul was pulled out, his hands were cut off by Shinigami's sword, and it was sealed in Shinigami's body. The elder let out a scream, Ashina, you dare to use the zombie seal. Don't you want to live?
The elder looked at Ashina with hatred and horror, but Ashina laughed loudly and said, the disadvantages of my sealing of corpses have been eliminated. There is nothing wrong with sealing you.
Ashina's face was not red and he was out of breath. Everyone waited for a long time, but there was still nothing unusual about Ashina. The elders of the Whirlpool clan looked at each other in disbelief. However, Ashina is the master of sealing and has been improving the sealing of zombies for many years. Unexpectedly, he actually succeeded. In this way, if all the Whirlpool clan learned how to seal away the corpses, the deterrence of the Whirlpool clan would be greatly increased. They all wanted to learn the new version of Ghoul Seal, so they started complimenting Ashina.
Haha, we all support the chief. That's right, the chief corpse has been sealed, why should we be afraid of Senju and Uchiha?
Chief, even if we unite with Hyuga, Mito must marry Hyuga's young chief, so that his status will match. Ashina nodded and said, yes, Mito naturally wants a price. Hyuga's young president. Ninkan's expression was overjoyed, but the next moment, his expression suddenly froze as Ashina continued. Hyuga's president Hagoromo stated in his letter that Hyuga's future young president will be Uchiha Ye Huo. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Hyuga's young president is me, Hyuga Ninkan.
Hyuga Ninkan roared. He turned around and pointed at Uchiha Ye Huo 3.5 and roared, you despicable branch bastard, what qualifications do you have to be the young chief of the Hyuga clan? I am the young chief of the Hyuga clan.
I will return to the Hyuga clan now. I want to tell my grandfather, my father and my mother about this. Hyuga Ninkan ran out, but just as he left the territory of the Uzumaki clan, countless kunais suddenly shot at him. Ninkan used Revolving Heaven to swing away, but the moment he was free, a long sword penetrated him. Heart. Chapter 198 Earth-shaking improvement. Hyuga Ninkan grabbed the long sword and looked at the person in front of him. The person in front of me also had a pair of white eyes.
Yes, you. Ninkan's body slowly fell down. Hayata coldly drew his sword.
He wiped the blood from the sword and said slowly, don't you think the patriarch of your clan doesn't know about your secret communication with the Senju clan? Humph, when you were selected as the young commander, the fate of your team was already decided. The Hyuga clan cannot have traitors. Hayata dug out Ninkan's eyes and completely destroyed Ninkan's body with ninjutsu. Last night, Hayata just returned to the Uzumaki clan. 12 at this time, Ye Huo's mind was still echoing Ashina's words in the morning.
Hagoromo said in his heart that Ye Mie is the head of the Hyuga clan.
Mito will marry Ye Huo. It turned out that this was exactly what was written in the letter. Ye Huo was furious at first. Yuya actually sold him. But in the end he couldn't help but start laughing at himself again. It was his own choice to marry the Whirlpool. This is a typical example of digging your own pit and jumping out of it. Is this something he brought upon himself? How should you choose now? Go back and find Hagoromo's theory, this is childish behavior. But for him to just accept the road paved by Yuya, he felt very unhappy.
Are they selling themselves and giving money to others? However, he changed his perspective. Yu Yiren himself became the young commander and asked himself to marry Mito. This was definitely for his wholehearted consideration.
At this moment, Hayata walked in slowly. Ye Huo's nose moved and he smelled the smell of blood. Hida, what did you do? Ye Huo suddenly asked. Hayata chuckled, it's nothing. Chief Hagoromo told me some things, I'll go handle them. Ye Huo withdrew his gaze. He knew that Ninkan should be the one Tien went to deal with. Ye Huo thought of this and accepted Yuya's gift. Uzumaki Mito was extremely angry. Ye Huo remained silent and rolled his eyes. The Uzumaki clan members beside him chuckled, and Hayata also had a smile on his lips, secretly saying that Commander Hagoromo was wise and great.
Ye Huo has no sympathy or intolerance in his heart.
It would be better if your enemies were all dead. As the Whirlpool tribesman explained, Ye Huo's expression changed. As soon as Ye Huo finished speaking, an angry scolding came from outside, and Uzumaki Mito rushed in angrily, pinched Ye Huo's ear with one hand and said angrily, you Hyuga brat, don't I need these cold words? Does the sealing technique look good? His eyes were fixed on the 8-sign seal and the space transfer seal.
You refused to marry me before, but after seeing these sealing techniques, you decided to marry me without even thinking. You little bastard, I won't marry you.
This old guy is definitely a hero. As a man, you still need strength and strength. Ye Huo swallowed and said, this is all for me? Ye Huo had already thought about it and said decisively, "Okay, I promise, keep these." At the same time, he also began to be wary of the old guy Yuya. This is the 4-sign seal, the space transfer seal, the 8-sign seal, the tailed beast seal.
At this moment, a member of the Whirlpool clan walked in and said to Ye Huo with a smile, "Chief Ye Huo, this is the sealing technique that the chief asked me to prepare for you."
The people from the Whirlpool clan smiled and said, "Yes, as long as Mr. Ye Huo agrees to the marriage, these 250 will be yours. Not to mention other seals, if he gets these 2 seals, his strength will be greatly improved." That bloody smell should be from Ninken. Chapter 199 Senju Secret Technique. Although there is a 6-year age difference between Ye Huo and Mito.
But that's nothing. As the young leader of 2 tribes.
Basically no need to go to the battlefield. There is chakra protecting the body. As well as various secret techniques of the 2 races. Living for over 100 years is not a problem. The 6-year age difference doesn't matter at all. So, the matter was settled. In the following days, the Uzumaki clan sent Mito's parents to the Hyuga clan to discuss with Ye Huo's parents in Hagoromo. At the same time, the most important point is to see whether the Hyuga clan has appointed Ye Huo as the young leader as agreed.
On this day, in front of the envoys of the Hyuga clan and the Uzumaki clan, Hagoromo officially confirmed the position of young commander Hyuga of Ye Huo.
The Uzumaki clan thought there would be huge opposition. However, surprisingly, the whole process went smoothly. The reason is simple, those opposing forces have been completely eliminated by Yuya. The Hyuga clan once again learned about Hagoromo's determination and ruthlessness. Be able to become the leader of a clan. How can he be the kind of person who is easy to do?
When Hyuga Ninkun was elected as the young commander, there was no decent etiquette at all.
But when Ye Huo was elected as the young commander, the entire Hyuga clan was holding a huge celebration. The Hyuga clan decorated it with lanterns and colorful decorations, as if it was the grandest festival. In the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Tianfeng sneered, "I heard that Senju was going to form an alliance with the Uzumaki clan before, but I didn't expect that it would be Hyuga and the Uzumaki who ended up getting together. This time Senju will be embarrassed." The power of Hyuga and the Whirlpool increases exponentially. And what? Third brother, you can tell me. Morijama was impatient and urged. The number of ninjas from the 2 clans has reached 15,000. Wang's second brother, don't worry. You should be aware of how powerful our clan's sage secrets are. It won't take long for Hashirama to recover, and... Speaking of this, Lin Jian's eyes suddenly became hot, got up. Uchiha Dajima's face was a little gloomy. That kid named Ye Huo is really capable of tossing, but that's okay.
Uzumaki and Senju are not combined, which is of great benefit to us, but now we have to pay more attention to Hyuga and the Uzumaki clan, send people go over to explore the details of the 2 clans and see what Senju does.
Moreover, it is possible for Hashirama to completely master our clan's secret technique. Morijama was stunned for a moment, then his eyes showed ecstasy and he laughed loudly. Then this ninja world belongs to my clan, ha 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 ha. Ahem. Senju coughed violently and looked very pale. With a smile on his face, Hagoromo looked happily at the happy Hyuga people. Although this number is still far less than that of Senju and Uchiha, Uchiha and Senju must carefully consider and be more cautious if they want to get their hands.
Senju Morima gritted his teeth and said angrily, "My king can't swallow this breath, what are you going to do, brother?"
The external marriage with the powerful Uzumaki clan in the ninja world was successful. At this time, Hyuga is united and thriving. Lin Jian said, "Big brother is using Senju's secret technique to activate Hashirama's cells."
At this time, within the Senju clan, Senju was furious, the damn Whirlpool clan dared to trick us and marry into the Tianshi 10 clans. Quote.
Not long after, the news of Hyuga Ye Huo's engagement to Uzumaki Mito spread throughout the ninja world.
Senju on the side said in the forest, "Second brother, don't get angry, your health is important."
How is Hashirama's injury? Morima asked with concern. Chapter 200 Superpower Space Transfer. Hyuga has a white eye. Whirlpool has a powerful physique and sealing skills. Uchiha has Sharingan. The Senju clan uses powerful physiques and secret techniques. Strong ethnic groups all have reasons for their strength. Senju's secret technique is that magic, the power of nature. Only with their powerful physiques can they control that kind of powerful power. Since Senju Hashirama first refined chakra, its terrifying amount of chakra and its purity have far exceeded that of Jonin. Senju Hashirama has always been regarded as the future of the Senju clan. And Senju Hashirama did not disappoint the Senju clan. He is extremely talented and can learn any ninjutsu at once, and he even created the wood-style ninjutsu. Wood-style's powerful power allowed him to shine in the ninja world at a young age, and he was praised as a genius once seen in the ninja world in a century.
Likewise, Uchiha Madara is also given the same name.
However, the appearance of Ye Huo completely shattered their reputation. Now, Hashirama has mastered the power of the immortal. He was completely separated from ordinary ninjas. The power of the immortal, how powerful it is, no one understands it better than the Senju clan. Even someone as strong as Senju Butsuma cannot fully master that power.
But Hashirama is going to do it. BCAI. Let me ask, how can this not make people happy?
At this time, Tuan Mie was still studying the betrothal gift of the Whirlpool clan. A bunch of sealing techniques. Whirlpool Mito looked at Ye Huo's small figure stuck in the ninjutsu scroll and not coming out. She wondered what was so fun about those breaking ninjutsu. The first thing Ye Huo studied was the sealing technique of space transfer. This sealing technique consists of two parts. One part is the sealing barrier, which can absorb the opponent's attacks. Another part is positioning transmission. Set a coordinate in advance, then after the sealing barrier absorbs the attack, teleport directly there. After learning this ninjutsu, you can withstand powerful attacks. Time passed day by day. Ye Huo kept studying. This day, Ye Huo suddenly came out of the room, called Hayata, left the clan village, went to Yamanaka, a deserted group 10 miles away, and then came to the back mountain. Ye Huo quickly began to form seals with his hands. The chakra substance in the body turns into black energy. These energies condensed into black runes. The runes condensed into a spiderweb-like barrier, shrouded in the space in front of Ye Huo. The next moment, Ye Huo shouted to Hayata on the opposite side, "Hayata, cast 8 trigrams air palm on me." Hayata's mouth twitched when he heard this, and he couldn't help but said, "Master Ye Huo, this is not good, in case it hurts you." "It's you who hurt me." Ye Huo sneered. Hayata felt that he had been insulted. His face suddenly became serious, and he said loudly, "Master Ye Huo, be careful." At that moment, Hayata struck out with a palm. The blue chuck energy column with a diameter of 10 meters hit the space in front of Ye Huo.
The next moment, the space in front of Ye Huo suddenly sunk in.
The tyrannical energy disappeared in an instant, and a huge roar sounded 10 miles away. The voice of the system sounded in Ye Huo's mind. "Ding! Congratulations to host for learning space transfer. 100,000 times reward trigger 1. Super power space transfer. 2. Super space transfer." Ye Huo looked carefully at the difference between the two rewards. Ultra-powerful space transfer is a one-time transfer of energy increased by 100,000 times.
And super multi-space transfer increases the number of barriers by 100,000 times.
Chapter 201 A bloody battle is inevitable. Space transfer has a drawback.
Once the energy exceeds the limit of space transfer, it cannot be transferred.
It is impossible to use space transfer to transfer energy in batches.
So Ye Huo chose Chowei space transfer. Ye Huo will face Senju Butsuma, Uchiha Tajima, and the grown-up Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama in the future.
Their attacks are all devastating. Ordinary space transfer is of no use at all.
Only ultra-powerful space transfer may be useful. Ye Huo wanted to see how powerful his super space transfer was, so he said to Hayata, "Hayata, use all your power and don't hold anything back."
Upon hearing this, Hayata said with a solemn expression, "Master Ye Huo, be careful." At that moment, Hayata's momentum suddenly exploded. Powerful chakra gushes out of the body crazily. The dark blue chakra continued to condense and compress in his palm and began to rotate.
Ye Huo formed a seal with his hands again and smacked the air.
At that moment, countless dense runes appeared in the air. The area of the runes was hundreds of times larger than before, and at the same time, the runes became extremely thick.
Ye Huo said loudly, "Let's take action." At that moment, the surging chakra in Hayata's body suddenly erupted. 8 trigram spiral deep space palm. At that moment, a diameter reached a terrifying 200 meters, and the rotating palm force instantly impacted. The palm force hit the seal of super powerful space transfer. The seal sunk firmly inwards. In the blink of an eye, there was an explosion in the distance. Hayata's terrifying palm was instantly diverted. However, almost at the same time, Ye Huo's face turned pale. The chakra in the body surges out like a tide. Hayata thought this in his mind and said, "Master Ye Huo, what should we do next?" Actual combat exercise. Hayata was stunned. A smile appeared on Ye Huo's lips and he said, "It's okay, I just consumed a little more chakra." "Yes." Hayata immediately answered in the affirmative. "Sir Ye Huo, are you okay?" Hayata hurried over. The corner of Hayata's mouth twitched. "Here, do you want me to ask for some sleep?" Ye Huo crossed his arms across his chest, narrowed his eyes and looked at Hayata and said, "Now I am still the captain of the 1st Regiment. Can I still order the 1st Regiment?" Ye Huo said slowly, "Actual combat exercise. Then do it." Ye Huo emphasized at the end, "To the winning side, I will personally teach them the secrets of the 8 trigrams divine air palm, and the captain of the winning side will serve as the deputy of my first team. Captain, go and pass this news on. The Hyuga clan needs to improve its strength. The stronger the transferred energy, the stronger its consumption." "You still know that you are still young." The smile on Ye Huo's lips grew wider. "My body is still small now. When I grow up, the power of this ninjutsu will be even more powerful." Hayata clicked his tongue and said in admiration, "Sir Ye Huo, this move of yours actually diverted all 100% of my strength. It's really amazing. Please give me flowers. I thought you had forgotten about it a long time ago." Hayata's mouth twitched. It seemed that a bloody battle was inevitable. Ye Huo explained,
The combat power of the Hyuga clan is too weak. Let everyone let go and engage in actual combat. Don't be afraid of injury. As long as they don't have missing arms or legs, as long as they still have breath, they will not die as long as I am here.
Chapter 202 The Land of Immortals. Under the temptation of huge benefits.
Ye Huo's team was divided into blue and red teams. There are 750 people on each side. Blue team Captain Hyuga Aida, red team Captain Hyuga Sunset. The criterion for determining the outcome of this exercise is for one party to completely fall to the ground. Thus, a fight that lasted all day began. First, both sides launched a tentative attack. All kinds of shurikens and kunai were shot all over the sky. 203. A series of 8 trigrams air palm and the occasional flash of revolving heaven kept destroying shuriken kunai. After 2 battles, the Hyuga ninjas' combat skills have improved a lot. Actions can be unified. The timing of ninjutsu release can also be well controlled. It was no longer a chaotic rush. Hyuga Hiashi's combat power is soaring rapidly. Ye Huo's prospective father-in-law and father-in-law were really frightened when they watched the Hyuga clan's training. He couldn't help but sigh and ask Hayata, "You Hyuga clan are all trained like this?" Hayata said, "Oh, that's not the case either. This is Lord Ye Huo's first regiment, training like this." Mito's parents looked at each other. The little husband the old man found for Mito is really a wolf. Hyuga is conducting a large-scale military training. Under the strong temptation, the captains of the red and blue teams went crazy. Urging the 2 teams to fight to the death, this battle ended in an extremely tragic way. Everyone on the blue team fell to the ground. There was blood everywhere. The most seriously injured among them was the medical ninja.
The 2 teams immediately discovered this fatal weakness. Medical ninjas will be targeted. The first regiment was too seriously injured, so Ye Huo asked medical ninjas from the remaining 4 regiments to come over to help with treatment.
And he personally treated those ninjas who had suffered fatal injuries. With Yi alive, these people can't die even if they want to. The brutality of this battle exceeded Ye Huo's imagination. He kept casting healing jutsu. Too many people were seriously injured, and the injuries were extremely serious. Ye Huo spent a lot of chakra to save all these people. After the treatment, Ye Huo felt tired for a while. He felt a little lucky that the 5 regiments were not allowed to conduct such actual combat exercises at the same time. Otherwise he would definitely be too busy. With Hayata's protection, Ye Huo was bold enough to let Ye Huo leave the Hyuga clan.
Ye Huo fully felt the importance of medical ninjutsu.
Then the lives of the Hyuga family can be better protected. Not only would that seriously damage your vitality, but it would also become the laughingstock of the entire ninja world. A smile appeared on Ye Huo's lips. Hayata is no match for strong players like Senju Morima and Uchiha. On a rainy night in March 2nd, of course, Hayata, as Ye Huo's loyal guardian, still follows him. So he made an important decision. The Hyuga clan will also lose a lot of manpower as a result. Hayata was excited. "Sir Ye Huo, we have caught up with the sun.
Go to find the marsh bone forest, where Katsuyu Sage lives." Ye Huo transformed into a fast golden-winged rock and carried Hayata away from Hyuga, sinking into the depths of the clouds.
Ye Huo flew towards the east at high speed. The sky in the distance gradually became brighter, and after a while, he even saw the setting sun. He had only heard of Kuafu Zuri, but he didn't expect that he would also Zuri today. If you can complete summoning with Katsuyu Senin. But it's also extremely close to cage level, so, after Ye Huo said goodbye to Hagoromo, Kia, and Keiko, he embarked on the road to find Katsuyu Sage.
Chapter 203 100,000 units of Chunin chakra. Ye Huo is too fast.
After a while, they caught up with the sun, which was right above their heads. Then Ye Huo quickly distanced himself from the sun. It looks like the sun is setting towards the east. Hayata let out bursts of surprise, within a short period of time. They experienced a completely new experience. Hayata looked particularly excited. Asked Ye Huo, "Master Ye Huo, where are we going?" Ye Huo said, "Go to a mysterious place." "A mysterious place?" Hayata frowned. Ye 12 Huo didn't explain too much. He used his super powerful primary sage body to constantly sense the energy below.
He could feel the place where the immortal power fluctuated.
He knew there was a place called Shigulan, but I don't know where he is. So he could only use this stupid method to search the entire ninja world. This kind of thing would naturally be impossible for others to do. But Ye Huo's extremely fast golden-winged rock can do it. He's too fast. The perception range of Chaowei primary sage mode is also extremely wide. That's why Ye Huofeng can do such crazy things. Time passes little by little. 1 day. 2 days. 1 month, 2 months. In the blink of an eye, more than half a year has passed.
The ninja world went through the entire process from autumn to winter to spring.
To the east of the ninjas, in a sparsely populated area near the ocean, 2 ninjas were walking. The eyes of these 2 ninjas are very strange. Du Shi has white eyes, but no pupils. It was Ye Huo and Hayata. More than half a year has passed, and Ye Huo has grown taller. It is a full 10 centimeters longer than half a year ago. Now Ye Huo is 1 meter tall. Not long ago, Hyuga celebrated Ye Huo's birthday. Now Ye Huo is 6 years old, although he still looks like a child. But Ye Huo's rapid physical development allowed his chakra to be greatly improved. It won't take long for his chakra to be upgraded to the level of Chunin. By then, his strength will have undergone earth-shaking changes. Walking along the way, Hyuga was curious, since he was looking for a certain place, why didn't he ask about it? And Ye Huo didn't explain much, just said, when the time comes, the place will be found. Ye Huo was still walking, and he suddenly felt that his chakra seemed to become more active. The sun slowly sets towards the west. Among them, children are the most numerous. Ye Huo didn't explain much and had already started refining chakra. 100,000 units of Chunin chakra. He used healing jutsu and cured many people.
Ye Huo was stunned for a moment, then stood down and slowly said to Hyuga, Hyuga, please take care of the surroundings, I want to practice.
Of course, if it was a clan close to Hyuga, he wouldn't mind helping. Ding! Congratulations to host for getting 1 unit of Chunin chakra. Ninjas, no matter which village they are from, have blood on their hands. Ye Huo will not save such a ninja. As for the ninja, he couldn't save anyone. 1 unit of elite Jonin chakra. Hyuga was stunned and said, practice here? Ye Huo finally refined 1 unit of chakra. Ye Huo didn't do nothing along the way. After about an hour, 100,000 times reward is triggered. Chapter 204 Super Perfect 100 Healings Mark Chapter 204. Ye Huo thought for a moment, but there was no rush to choose. Instead, he first used the endless seal that he had obtained through studying the chakra sealing technique and Tsunade's 100 healings mark and 100 healings mark explanation in the past 6 months.
At that moment, the chakra in Ye Huo's body began to undergo nature transformation.
It changed into the form of a rune pattern. A unit of chakra is a simple rune. These runes come together, condensed into a sphere. Almost at the same time, as long as Ye Huo's thoughts moved. These runes will be released from the sphere and transformed into chakra again. The endless seal, created by Ye Huo, has one advantage. That means you can use it as you go without having to perform complicated fingerprints.
Masters exchange moves in an instant. This momentary change may determine life or death.
Therefore, Spitting Fire developed the endless seal that does not require sealing. However, endless seal will lose a lot of chakra. This Ye Huo is still acceptable. The most important thing is that he has a reward of 100,000 times. Maybe this can be solved. Ding! Congratulations to host for developing a new ninjutsu, endless seal. 100,000 times reward is triggered. 100,000 endless seals.
Super perfect endless seal. Ye Huo glanced at the 2 rewards.
Among them, the super powerful endless seal is a sphere formed by 100,000 endless seals condensed in the body. The endless seal itself can grow infinitely. No matter how much chakra you have, it can be transformed into runes, and then gathered into a spherical space and stored in Ye Huo's body. Although this space is within Ye Huo's body, it does not seem to be in the same time and space as Ye Huo. The spherical space condensed by this endless seal can increase infinitely. And it does not affect Ye Huo at all. It's like the 8-sign seal that seals the tailed beast.
This is an extremely magical sealing technique. Ye Huo looked at the super perfect endless seal again.
The super perfect endless seal will not lose any chakra after being condensed into a spherical space. Instead, it will absorb the surrounding energy and become Ye Huo's chakra. Ye Huo's pupils shrank suddenly. This super perfect endless seal is too heaven-defying. If it is like this, then you don't need to refine chakra frequently.
Chakra is energy extracted at the expense of the vitality of cells.
As Ye Huo made a choice. Moreover, the formed sphere is not in the shape of a sphere. I choose 100,000 units of Daqin Jiao, Chunin chakra. 11. Ye Huo constantly performs nature transformation on these chakras, integrating them into the super perfect endless seal. As Ye Huo's voice fell, Ye Huo suddenly felt that the shape of the runes formed by the chakra nature transformation in his body had changed again. But he has too much chakra. Ye Huo felt excited. Some are like tadpoles. If he could refine less, it would be of great benefit to his body. After doing this, Ye Mie continued. Let a large amount of chakra disperse to achieve gong. Dragging a long tail. The choice was made immediately. In order not to be burst, he could only open the pores on his body. The next moment, a massive amount of chakra inflatable balls rushed into Ye Huo's body. He simply cannot carry out nature transformation on all these chakras at once. I choose the super perfect endless seal. Instead, it turned into something like water droplets.
Chapter 205 Super Powerful Intermediate Sage Body.
Ye Huo's body is like a full-body jet balloon, and it's a balloon with holes all over its body. Blue chakra kept emanating from his body. The air all around was filled with a kind of blue. The breeze blows, and the blue disappears invisible. Hyuga looked at Ye Huo with a strange look. Every once in a while, Lord Ye Huo's body will emit a large amount of chakra.
He couldn't imagine how that weak body could erupt with that terrifying chakra. And such a huge consumption of energy. Master Ye Huo didn't feel any discomfort.
He still looks so energetic. If he had lost such chakra, I'm afraid he would have died long ago. Is this true genius? Hayata felt a little incomprehensible. Ye Huo's chakra was released for a while. The surging energy has just been released. Ye Huo suddenly felt that his pores were very painful. This was something he had never experienced before. Ye Huo suddenly felt worried in his heart. The higher the quality of the chakra, the greater the burden on your body when you forcefully dissipate. Ye Huo had doubts in his heart. If you choose 100,000 units of chakra next time, will your pores be extremely enlarged by the impact? It seems like I'm thinking wrongly. Ye Huo calmed down. Now his chakra is condensed again. He has great power to enhance the power of Sage Mode. Ye Huo continued to close his eyes tightly. It was much easier for him to feel the power of immortals here than elsewhere. The Chunin level chakra makes his condensed immortal chakra even more pure and condensed.
Time passed slowly. Chakra from all directions kept moving towards Ye Huo. Ding. Congratulations to host for absorbing 1 unit of intermediate magic chakra.
100,000 times reward is triggered. 100,000 units of intermediate magic chakra.
2. Super power intermediate sage body. At this time, Ye Huo no longer dared to choose the 100,000 unit intermediate magic chakra.
He was afraid that he would be suffocated to death by this energy. I choose the powerful intermediate sage body, as Ye Huo's voice fell. Energy from all directions converged towards Ye Huo. A thick golden energy film, Kai, condensed around Ye Huo's body. Moreover, this golden energy film also exudes a slight golden light.
It gives people an extremely thick and hard feeling.
At the same time, an immortal face appeared on Ye Mie's face. At this moment, Ye Huo's whole body was releasing an unprecedentedly powerful aura. More than 100 times stronger than before. Hayata looked at Ye Huo in surprise. For some reason, when he faced Ye Huo at this time, he felt a sense of palpitations. Could it be that Ye Mieshenren's strength can already threaten him? This is impossible. This is absolutely impossible.
I am already close to cage level. At this time, Ye Huo said to Hayata, Hayata, use the 8 trigrams God Sky Palm on me again.
Ye Huo wanted to try out the power of his super powerful intermediate sage body. Hayata stared slightly and then said, Master Ye Huo, be careful. At that moment, Hayata struck out with a palm. With a diameter of 10 meters, the very condensed chakra energy column instantly submerged Ye Huo. Ye Huo did not cast Revolving Heaven. Let that palm hit him. Ye Huo's body immediately flew backwards. Hayata exclaimed, Ye Huo-sama.
Hayata was extremely anxious in his heart. Ye Huo-sama, what is he doing? It's over, it's over. The palm he just struck was 50% of his strength. Even a Jonin would be killed by him.
Chapter 206 The Power of the Immortal Body. Hayata hurried over. However, the scene before him shocked him. Then I saw Ye Huo walking over intact. Ye Huo's whole body is still surrounded by a rich light. The whole person is firmly protected by the energy film condensed by the golden light. Hayata had a big mouth. Extremely shocked. Ye Huo-sama just now, but no ninjutsu is used. He just relies on his body to resist his own blow.
Surprisingly, nothing happened at all. This is so surprising.
While Hayata was shocked, Ye Huo turned his gaze to Hayata and said, Hayata, you have picked me up. The next moment, Ye Huo's figure flashed and disappeared from the place in an instant.
Hayata felt a golden light flash in his eyes. Ye Huo's figure disappeared.
The next moment, Ye Huo appeared behind Hayata. A leg whip was whipped towards Hayata's head. The leg whip carried fierce energy and generated strong wind pressure. Hayata was shocked. At that moment, he raised his right arm to protect his head. Boom! Next moment, Ye Huo's leg whip hit Hayata's right arm hard. Hayata's right arm twisted. Click, broken arm bones. Hayata was kicked out by Ye Huo. Bang bang bang. Hayata's body rolled one after another on the ground. Finally, it hit hard more than 100 meters away. Hayata arrived on his back with scratches all over his body. Ye Huo jumped over, looked at Hayata on the ground and smiled. Hayata, you have been relaxing during this period and have not practiced well. Hayata's mouth twitched. Sir Ye Huo, it's not that I haven't practiced hard, it's that you've made too fast progress. Ye Huo looked at Hayata's broken right hand and said slowly, be patient. The next moment, Ye Huo grabbed Hayata's arm, held it back, and Hayata groaned, looking painful.
Ye Huo cast healing jutsu and healed Hayata's arm.
Hayata sighed, Master Ye Huo, in front of you, I feel like I am a waste. It won't be long before you can surpass me, and surpass strong men like Senju Morima and Uchiha Tianfeng. I'm afraid it won't take more than a few years. Ye Huo smiled and said, Senju Morima and Uchiha Dojima are nothing. Senju Butsuma and Uchiha Dojima can barely be considered my opponents. After hearing Ye Huo's words, Hayata was speechless, but he felt that Lord Ye Huo's words were indeed reasonable. Please give me flowers, as Lord Ye Huo grows up. He will definitely become a strong person like Senju Morima. It is very possible to reach the level of Senju Butsuma. At this moment, a surprised voice suddenly sounded, "Hey, such a powerful ninjutsu." As the voice fell, a female ninja was already walking towards Ye Huo. Ye Huo was also shocked when he heard the sound. How powerful is the perception of his super powerful intermediate sage body? He didn't even notice the other party's arrival. Ye Huo looked at each other carefully.
The other party did not carry a forehead protector from a certain ethnic group.
Wearing common ordinary clothes, she looks like an ordinary woman. The powerful chakra is also not felt in his body. Ye Huo instantly rolled his eyes, and veins bulged around the corners of his eyes. Only then did Ye Huo see the extremely majestic chakra in a woman's body. Women control their chakra to a very pervert degree. Don't let any of your chakra flow out. This is even more pervert than Tsunade's control.
Chapter 207. Whirlpool is Yan. Who are you? Hayata also noticed this powerful female ninja. His face changed slightly, and he stood in front of Ye Huo.
Ye Huo stared slightly and observed the woman carefully. She was about 1.7 meters tall, with fair skin and a very delicate face. She looked about 20 years old. Her blood-red hair was combed back, neatly and cleanly. Ye Huo suddenly felt something in his heart. Are you from the Whirlpool 227 clan? The woman looked at her hair and said slowly, what a smart boy. Ye Huo cursed in his heart, child? Oh, my 3 lifetimes combined are almost 50 years old. It's not certain who is the child.
The entire ninja world knows about Hyuga's relationship with the Uzumaki clan.
Hayata was afraid that this woman had an ulterior motive and deliberately lied to them that she was a member of the Uzumaki clan, so that they would relax their vigilance and attack them secretly. Hayata's heart moved, and he immediately said, your chakra is so powerful, I guess you are not an unknown person, but among the Uzumaki clan, I have never heard of such a powerful girl. Haha, boy, I'm not a girl anymore. I'm 63 years old this year? A smile appeared on the corner of the woman's mouth, her arms crossed her chest, and she looked at Hayata and Ye Huo, her eyes full of pride. Hayata and Ye Huo were stunned on the spot. Hayata's eyes almost popped out. What, 63 years old? How is this possible? The corners of the woman's mouth curled up, becoming even more proud. Boy, have you ever heard of Uzumaki Noyen's name? Hayata nodded heavily. Uzumaki Nougat is Uzumaki Ashina's first wife, and her strength is also very outstanding, but I heard that she didn't get along with Chief Ashina and left Uzumaki. At this point, Hayata lost his voice again. Could it be that you are Uzumaki Nougat? Uzumaki Noyen nodded, then looked at Ye Huo and said, boy, I heard that you want to marry my granddaughter? Ye Huo narrowed his eyes slightly and said slowly, this is the decision of the 2 clans. A sarcastic smile appeared on the corner of Uzumaki Noyen's mouth, and he slowly put on a posture and said, boy, I heard that you were pretty good, so let me try your methods to see if you are qualified to marry my granddaughter. Hayata immediately blocked Ye Huo, put on a posture and said, no matter who you are, you can't touch my lord Ye Huo. Hayata's voice had just fallen, but at that moment, Uzumaki Nougat had already rushed in front of Hayata. Hayata was startled and turned to one side, assuming a sky posture. At that moment, Hayata was like casting Revolving Heaven. However, Uzumaki Nougat's palm touched Hayata's arm first. The next moment, Uzumaki Noyen's chakra nature transformation turned into strange energy, forming runes. These runes spread to Hayata's entire arm in an instant. Hayata's meridians were completely sealed. For a while, Revolving Heaven couldn't be used at all. Hayata was shocked and once again urged chakra to condense into a chakra knife, hoping to break the seal. The woman has taken action again. Hit Hayata with 64 slaps in succession 2.6. Seals after seals continued to penetrate into Hayata's body. Hayata's chakra was immediately completely sealed. Even Hayata couldn't break the seal formed by the condensed pure and huge chakra. Uzumaki Noyen looked at Ye Dao with a smile. Boy, there is no one for us here. Ye Huo stared slightly and put on a posture. Chapter 208 Sage Art? Chao 8 trigrams? Divine Sky Wind Divine Palm? Ye Huo's eyes were fixed on the impossibly young Uzumaki Noyen in front of him. Uzumaki Noyen smiled, and the powerful chakra instantly condensed into his fist. The majestic and condensed chakra formed a thin layer on the fist surface. The next moment, Whirlpool Noyen rushed towards Ye Huo quickly and punched Ye Huo. At that moment, Ye Huo gathered his chakra in his right palm. Chakra kept condensing and began to spiral, while a large amount of wind attribute chakra was integrated into it. Buzz buzz. The wind blade of Ye Huo's right palm cut the air, making a sharp sound of breaking through the air. Super powerful 8 trigrams God's palm of the sky and wind. At that moment, Ye Huo struck out with a palm and collided with Uzumaki Noyen's punch. A dazzling light suddenly burst out. The powerful force spreads in all directions with the 2 as the center. The airwaves swept across and the wind blades danced wildly. Boom boom boom. A violent explosion suddenly sounded. Ye Huo felt strong pressure from the opponent's palm. His body began to retreat continuously. In the end, I couldn't resist the pressure. The figure immediately flew backwards. The chakra on Uzumaki Noyan's palm is being constantly eroded by the powerful wind blade and rotating power. Oops, I underestimated you. Uzumaki Noyan suddenly erupts into a more powerful chakra. Dispel all the power of the wind blade in front of you. Uzumaki Noyan is too strong, definitely quasi-cage level. With Ye Huo and Hayata's cultivation at this time, they are no match for Uzumaki Noyan. Uzumaki Noyan Xiaoxiao said, "Boy, you only have this little strength, but it's not enough." Ye Huo narrowed his eyes slightly. All this time, he has never injected the energy of the immortal technique chakra into the super powerful 8 trigrams divine sky wind god palm.
But now, I have to try it myself. In that moment, Ye Huo took out a shuriken. Attached to it is the power of wind style. Ye Huo threw the wind style shuriken out in an instant. Uzumaki Noyan smiled, this little power. Before she finished speaking, the next moment she saw Yi quickly forming seals with his hands. 100,000 wind style shuriken. That one wind style shuriken suddenly turned into 100,000. The sky is filled with wind style shurikens. Whirlpool Noyan's face changed drastically. Good boy, you obviously have some skills. Uzumaki Noyan's body erupted with extremely powerful chakra.
Ha! Uzumaki Noyan let out a loud shout. At the same time, he punched the ground with a punch.
At the same time, the powerful magic chakra was injected into it again.
Huge roars came and went. There was silence, at that moment, in the smoke and dust. The trembling sound suddenly became more harsh and sharp. Sage Art Superpower 8 Trigrams Divine Sky Wind Divine Palm. At that moment, Ye Huo struck out with a palm. The power of the wind blade is injected into it. Instead, the voice became weaker. Uzumaki Noyan looked around and said loudly, "Little devil, don't hide, I have already seen you."
There was dust all the way to 543. That frequency begins to exceed the limits of human hearing. Not long after, wind-style shurikens and rocks were all cancelled out. The sharp buzzing sound sounded again. Ye Huo took up his stance again. Boom boom boom. The chakra in the palm quickly condenses again. In an instant, the hard ground suddenly rose up, and countless rocks shot into the air, hitting those wind-style shurikens together.